faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Once again, it's a pleasure and an honor to be on with the best fans in the NFL, the faithful, the Niner Empire. Always a pleasure and an honor to be on with you guys and gals. Hopefully, everyone had a excellent holiday season, Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hopefully, you had fun. Hopefully, you had a great time. I had a great time with the family during Christmas, and unfortunately, we lost that game against the Titans. And coming out of that game, Jimmy G, there was an injury. And that's what this show is about today, breaking down the latest 49er news and talking about Jimmy G. Jimmy G obviously did not practice yesterday. Trey Lance took the first team reps. And, what's going to happen, faithful? Who's going to play? Who's going to be at the quarterback position? Who's going to be starting this Sunday against the Texans? I don't know about you guys, faithful, but I'll tell you this up front. I don't want a hobbled Jimmy G to start at quarterback. We've seen this before. I love, and respect Jimmy G's desire to go out there and play through pain, but that may not be what's best for the team. What's best for the team is to have a healthy quarterback and Trey Lance. Kyle Shanahan mentioned, hey, this last month of practice, it's been Trey Lance's best month. So let's throw the rookie out there, see what he's got, especially if Jimmy G. We've seen what we can get from Jimmy. We've seen what he's been injury prone. And let's roll with the rookie. Let's roll with Trey Lance. But ultimately, the decision lies with Kyle Shanahan, and we know how he feels. Shanahan trusts Jimmy G to a certain extent, and Shanahan does not trust Trey Lance at this point. But we'll see what gives. I will be, going over the latest 49ers news that happens today, who practiced today, who didn't, and go from there. But of course, I don't do this show by myself. It's all about the fans. It's all about the MVPs, the faithfuls in the comment section. First, shout out to everyone watching Jay intheBay Facebook, Jay intheBay YouTube, Jay intheBay Twitter. Appreciate you guys coming on a Thursday at noon today. Let's say what's up to the people in them comments. Let's see who we got in here. Let's see. First, we have Romello Ball. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Romello. Hopefully all is good in your neck of the woods, man. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. And thanks for tuning in to the stream. We got Steven in the house. What's good? Steven, obviously, he's a very elated Titans fan right now. They just beat the 49ers, and I think they're still leading their division, AFC South, in the standing. So hats off to your Tennessee Titans, man. They're a pretty good team, and we'll see what they do in the playoffs. Steven says, hey there at Jay intheBay, coming off one AFC South team and moved on to another. Yeah, good luck in your game on Sunday, man. We got Job in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Job. Job, for those that do not know, is a Colts fan. And he says, hey, how are you? I'm doing pretty well. He says, hopefully your Niners come up big this week and my Colts can clinch the playoffs with the win. Yeah, man, that should be, interesting contest. The 49ers playoff scenario, the most simplest way is, I believe, obviously we got to beat the Texans on Sunday. And I believe the Panthers need to beat the Saints, I believe. And if that comes to fruition, then the 49ers will be able to get into the playoffs. So, I feel like, unfortunately, the Niners have left some games on the table. There are definitely some games that we should have won. Hey, last week against the Titans, Seattle Seahawks game. There have been several games that I believe we should have won. We would have been able to control our own destiny, but unfortunately, now we have to rely on other teams to help us, and that's an uncomfortable position to be in. But we'll see. 49ers, all they can do right now is take care of their business. We got the Texans on Sunday. The Texans have won their last two games, but I still think the Niners are a better team. But we'll see if the Niners can execute. Job has a prediction. He says the Colts and 49ers in the Super Bowl. I'll take that right now, man. That's funny. But yeah, your Colts, man, they're a good team. NYCE, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How was your holiday season? How was everyone's holiday season? Hopefully, all is going well. We got New Year's on Saturday the 1st. So, if you guys go out, just make sure you be safe, man. And have a good New Year. Let's see. NYC says, "What's up, Jay? Hope you're doing okay, man. I'm doing excellent. Doing excellent. Glad you could be on to the stream today." Let's start off with I'm gonna start off with some news real quick. Aziz Al-Shair, our linebacker, who's had a pretty good, excellent season so far this year. He's had such a good season. The 49ers and his agent are in talks for a contract extension. Hopefully, we can get that done. But unfortunately for Aziz, we know he dealt with an elbow issue, and in last week's game, he injured his knee, and unfortunately, it's considered a knee sprain. So Aziz, our linebacker, will be out the next 2 games. But that just means there's another opportunity for Flanagan Fowles and Marcel Harris to step up and do their part and make the most out of their opportunity. Also, DJ Jones, who's having a excellent year as an interior defensive tackle for the 49ers. He's limited this week due to an ankle injury. Hopefully he can play against the Texans. But I think our defensive line depth is pretty good. If he does not play, I think the defensive line will still be able to compete and do well against this Texans team. But that's just the latest injury so far. And we will continue to go over the latest news, but I got to continue to say what's good to the people in them comments. Job says, I'm starting Trey Lance in my fantasy. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a great idea. And like I said before, man, I respect Jimmy. I think he does have heart. He wants to continue to go out and play even if he's hurt, but I don't know if that's necessarily in the best interest of the team. Will Shanahan really trust an injured Jimmy G over a healthy Trey Lance? I mean, would you guys do that? Let me drop a question in the comment section. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Do you trust a hobbled Jimmy G over a healthy Trey Lance? I just don't see that happening. I mean, he has a torn ligament. Can the guy even grip a ball? I mean, let's not even talk about throwing it. And we know he has issues with accuracy throwing the ball when he's healthy. Now, can Jimmy G throw the ball when he's not healthy, when he has an injured thumb on his throwing hand? I mean, I don't know. I just don't think he should play. I respect his grit. I respect that he wants to go out there and compete, but that might not be best for the team. It may be best just to start Trey Lance. But let me get this question up for you guys. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. Do you trust Jimmy G or a healthy Trey Lance? Shanahan said that he's been great the last month in practice for the scout team. Even Fred Warner said the same thing. Fred Warner said that Trey Lance in the beginning of the season, he wasn't giving the defense great looks. And what he means by that is if Lance's first read wasn't open, Lance would just take off and run. But most quarterbacks, won't do that. They'll look for their reads. They'll sit in the pocket. And Fred Warner even said that Trey Lance is starting to do that now at a higher rate. And he's surveying the field. He's staying in the pocket. Fred Warner said that Trey Lance is looking more comfortable. Hey, and what a great landing spot for Trey Lance. The last game at home at Levi Stadium in front of the home fans. And against the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are a team that's only won 4 games so far this year. They won their last 2 games, so they are on a 2-game win streak. But they aren't playing for much. Let's just be real. They're not playing for much. And I just want to drop this question for you guys. Let me know in them comments. Let me know, man. Do you trust a hobble Jimmy G or a healthy Trey Lance? I mean, Jimmy G I don't even know if he can hold the football. let alone throw it with accuracy and precision. And we'll see. We shall see. Ultimately, the decision is up to Shanahan, because I think Jimmy's going to play. Jimmy wants to play. There's no doubt. And I respect that. He wants to play. He just doesn't want to sit on the sideline. He wants to play. So, of course, he's going to say, oh, yeah, I'm good to go. But if Jimmy hasn't practiced all week, how can you put him in there? I mean, yeah, he knows the system, but if he hasn't practiced all week, it's a reason, because he can't throw the ball. And that's his main job, man. Throw the ball. If he can't do that, then I don't think he should play. We got Niner Faithful in the house. What's good? Niner Faithful says, Kyle, please don't play Jimmy at 50 or 60%. Let's see our future in Trey and all the other draft picks. Hey, I completely agree with you. I said that pretty much, I was done with Jimmy after last week's pitiful performance against the Tennessee Titans, because I felt like he lost the game for us. And I still feel like that. Obviously, if Jimmy goes out there and plays, though, I'm still going to root for him, because if Jimmy succeeds, the 49ers team should succeed. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. The team winning games. And if our players are successful in their task at hand, that usually will lead to a victory. But I don't think we should see Jimmy if he's, as 49er Faithful said, he's 50 or 60%. I just don't see that. I think Trey should start. He's getting the first team reps. Now, it'll be interesting to see what comes out after today's practice, because yesterday Jimmy did not practice at all. He went on the practice field, but he basically did not execute any throws. And he left the practice field, fairly early, while the other three quarterbacks were taking the reps. Trey Lance was taking the first team reps. So if Jimmy doesn't practice all week, I just don't anticipate him playing. We got John in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, John. And I appreciate everyone. You hit that thumbs up button. Let me and YouTube know that you guys are enjoying the stream. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Jay and the Bay on YouTube. I would appreciate it. But John says, if you remember, C.J. Beathard got injured and Shanahan put Jimmy in for the first time. He went on to win 5 straight. And wouldn't that be amazing if that would happen? We had the same scenario with Trey Lance. Obviously, that's like not a miracle situation, but obviously that's like a fairy tale almost situation, because Jimmy, pretty much, let's be real, the 49ers season was basically over when Jimmy G came in 2017. The 49ers did not have much to play for, and they went on to win 5 straight games. Well, the Niners, we are deep in the playoff hunt right now, and we need to win. Basically, we need to win out, and to put our best foot forward. And, relying on a rookie to do that, you would probably say that's unprecedented, since he's only started 1 game so far this year. But hey, I think the game plan versus the Texans is simple: run the ball, protect the ball, and play good on defense. Put them away early. There's a reason why the Texans have only won 4 games this year, and the 49ers need to make the most out of their opportunity on Sunday. And this is a playoff game. If the Niners lose this game, the playoff, it's not out of the question, but it definitely makes it even harder just to get into the playoffs. So 49ers need to take care of business, and whoever's under center on Sunday and win the game. Appreciate your comment, Romello. Hopefully all is well. NYCE says, Jay, keep it down. I'm watching while at work. Just kidding. Hey, man, I appreciate you tuning in, man. I appreciate you. Steven says, Houston Texans have turned into playoff spoilers. Hope your 49ers are careful. I agree. I don't think this is I forgot that saying that you call it, but I think this is a trap game. I don't think this is a trap game. Maybe at the beginning of the season, I said, hey, this is a game versus the Texans. It's toward the end of the season. I don't think the Texans will be playing for much, and that's what it turned out to be. But they're still playing hard. They're still playing. They're still putting forth a good effort under their head coach, David Culley. He's got those guys motivated, ready to play. And the Texans, they beat the Jaguars and they beat the Chargers last week, but the Chargers did have a lot of players on the COVID list. And the Texans, they just ran the ball all over the Chargers, but that's not a surprise because the Chargers have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. They average about 140 yards a game, and they allowed Rex Burkhead. They allowed Rex Burkhead to have 100 and I think it was 120 yards on 20 carries. So Rex Burkhead made that defense look silly. So I don't think the Texans will have that same success against the 49ers on the ground. I just don't see that happening. We got David Edmondson in the house representing that good old Real Talk Niner Talk. What's good? David says at this point, I don't want him in there, even if he is well enough to play. He continues to leave points on the board. Good teams don't do that. He held us back too long. Time for number 5. Man, I appreciate your comments. I definitely agree. And shout out to the Real Talk Niner Talk. They have their own YouTube channel. They talk about the faithful. They talk about the Niner Empire. Shout out to them guys over there at the Real Talk Niner Talk YouTube channel, man. Keep putting out that great content. I enjoy you guys' live streams. But here's the thing. Shanahan, and this is what I don't like. Like, Shanahan doesn't hold Jimmy accountable. And the reason I say that is when Jimmy makes mistakes, when Jimmy throws interceptions, how is Shanahan keeping him accountable if there's no consequences to his plays on the field? For instance, last week against the Titans, clearly Jimmy G didn't have it. He wasn't playing his best, right? Now, why not bench him, put Trey in? I don't see why not. I know, you can, I guess the game plan would have to change or whatever, but put Trey in. And what's more frustrating is when Jimmy's at the podium after a game, or when Jimmy's on the sideline, he's smiling after he makes interceptions, or Jimmy doesn't take accountability. He always says, "Oh, we got to play better. We got to do this," but he never says, "Hey, I messed up on that interception. It's my fault. I need to get better." I would love to see that from Jimmy, but he doesn't do that. And Shanahan, why not just hold him, accountable? I know it's a quarterback. You can't just swap him in and out, but Trey has been, and you said it, Shanahan, Trey has been playing his best month as scout team quarterback. Fred Warner said the same thing. So why not put Trey in there? But, Shanahan feels like he trusts Jimmy G a lot more than he trusts Trey, and we'll see. I appreciate your comments though, D, but and I agree. Jimmy has left points on the board, especially last week against the Titans, and Jimmy was the reason we lost this game. The defense played great in the first half. They struggled in the second half, but it should have been 21-0 at the end of the half. There's no doubt about that. But I appreciate your comments, D. Job says, I love a weekend full of college and NFL football. Me too, man. I can't wait. We got David McNew in the house. What's good? David says, I have seen enough of Jimmy G. The second half of the Titans game is an example of what we can do with the injured thumb, man. I mean, and y'all know me. If y'all been watching Jay and the Bay for a while, it's no secret. Jay and the Bay has been one of the biggest Jimmy G supporters. I love to say, Jimmy G, that's my quarterback. And but I can't. I am a 49er faithful, but I can't. There's no excuses for his play. There's really no excuses for his play. Jimmy G, he played really well the last 2 months, and then all of a sudden, he wets the bed on Thursday night. So obviously, whoever is wearing the red and gold, I will cheer for, I will root for, because if they're successful, then the team is successful. But I've come to the point where I've seen enough of Jimmy. I've seen enough. But Shanahan is a decision maker. He will decide, obviously, when he's had enough of Jimmy, and I don't think he's close to that point. It doesn't seem like it. But speaking of Shanahan, though, he's not going to tell the media or anyone else who's going to be the starter. I think this will be like a game time decision, or maybe at the earliest Saturday, because if he's going to wait until he absolutely has to tell the media when Jimmy G will start. And I think that's a wise decision on his part. He's making the Texans prepare potentially for 2 quarterbacks. whether it's Jimmy G, whether it's Trey. I think that's good gamesmanship. But man, I just can't wait till Sunday. I can't wait till kickoff. I can't wait to see who's going to be under center. And if Jimmy's got a torn ligament, I don't believe that a hobbled Jimmy G is better than a healthy Trey Lance. I just don't believe it. But I don't think Shanahan believes that, and that's the part that's definitely frustrating. But for those that are just entered the chat, make sure you answer that question. Do you trust a hobbled Jimmy G or a healthy Trey Lance? Let me know in them comments. Let's see. It looks like we got a super chat. Hot diggity dog, JKS. What's good? Let's see. JKS says, Jay in the Bay. JB told me it was Fisherman's Wharf. You were spotted in the Baker Mayfield jersey, not the Botanical Gardens. LOL. Have a good new year. You have a good new year as well, man. Hopefully the holiday season was good to you. Thanks for tuning into the stream, and I appreciate that donation to the channel, man. I appreciate it. But I don't want to miss anyone's comment. Let's see. Let's go. So we got Crazy Juice in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Appreciate you coming in. We got Whose House? Ram's House. What's good? How you doing, Ram's House? Man, it is a soap opera. You got a lot of fans that have wanted to start Trey Lance from day one. You've had fans, including me, who want to ride with Jimmy. And that was based on what I had seen. That was based on 2019. That was based on, hey, we got a veteran quarterback who's played multiple games with the team, 40, 50 games with the team. He gives us the best chance to win. But here's the thing with Jimmy. He's very unpredictable. He's not consistent with his play, and that's what's frustrating to watch. But the stats are clear. When Jimmy does not turn the ball over, this team is undefeated. But when Jimmy turns the ball over like he did on Thursday against the Titans, we have a losing record, and it's because this team, we can't overcome that. There are multiple deficiencies on this team, and quarterback can't be one of them. Quarterback cannot be one of them. And the bare minimum, you got to take care of the ball, don't turn over the ball, and don't miss wide open guys. That's the bare minimum, man. But thanks for tuning in to the stream, Rams House, and we will be meeting up against the Rams. What's that, next Sunday, I believe? So looking forward to that game. And speaking of tonight, I will have a live stream tonight at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll be a Niners versus Texans preview and prediction show. I will have a Houston Texans YouTuber and a Houston Texans fan, of course, and we'll go over the game and we'll talk about it. So if you guys are into that, make sure you tune in tonight, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, of course, on the Jay intheBay YouTube channel, and we'll talk about the 49ers and Texans game. We got Andre in the house. What's good? Andre says we got to get these last two wins. Don't want to rely on other teams to get us in. I agree. And honestly, even I've seen a playoff scenario where even if we win both of our games, there's still a chance that we could not make the playoffs. Basically, if there's I know we have tiebreakers over Philly, but I believe Philly has a better conference record. So if we tie with Philly, they have a better conference record than us because they won more games in the NFC conference. So they would have dibs to that final playoff spot. So hopefully Carolina, I believe that's the scenario we need. I think we need Carolina to, let me double check. But I believe we need Carolina to beat the Saints, and we should be good. Yeah, I believe if Carolina beats the Saints and we beat the Texans on Sunday, then we should be in the playoffs. So hopefully that comes to pass. David says, hell no, I don't trust Jimmy G, period, hampered or not. Yeah, hey, man, at this point, I would have to agree with you because we've seen turnover Jimmy way too frequently. Jimmy has definitely done some good things in his career with the 49ers. But there's definitely been some turbulence. That's for sure, man. There's definitely been some turbulence. And hopefully Shanahan makes the decision to ride with Trey. If Jimmy can't practice all week, and I'm waiting to see if there's any reports on social media, because the 49ers should be practicing sooner than later today. And we'll get to see who's on the practice field. Because hopefully, because if Jimmy can't practice, I don't think he should play. If he can't grip the ball, if he can't throw it accurately, then why put him out there, Shanahan? Why? We got J.R. Meadows in the house. What's good? And J.R. Meadows has been a staunch supporter of Trey Lance this whole time. He says, "Please sit down, Jimmy G." We got Seahawks Eddie in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Seahawks Eddie. Man, it's sad for your for your Seattle Seahawks, man, that the run is officially over. This is the first year, maybe the second, that the Seahawks have not made the playoffs since Russell Wilson has been with the team. I think it might be only the second year, but you guys have been dominant. There's no doubt. You guys have had a hell of a run. And it'll be interesting to see what happens, what comes about that at the end of the season. Thanks for tuning in. We also have some 49ers news as well regarding our running backs. So Elijah Mitchell has returned to practice. This is a great sign. We know, faithful, that Elijah Mitchell just brings this running game to another level, So it's good to have Elijah Mitchell back at practice, and he is on track to play. Also, Trey Sermon, who injured his ankle, he has been cleared to practice, so he'll be back as well. We know Trey Sermon hasn't really been a major contributor to the 49ers, but, it'll be good to get him, back on the field, and maybe he can contribute in some way. Let's see. Andre says, Jimmy G is laid back. That works when you're winning. When you're losing, it seems like you don't care enough. Let's see what Trey brings. I'm ready to retag my Garcia jersey. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I just wish Jimmy G would take accountability. Say, hey, man, that interception was on me. I had to deliver a better ball. Or, hey, I need to make sure I hit Juice in that wheel route. That was my fault. But you never hear that from Jimmy. And I wonder, what do the guys in the locker room think about that? Because, publicly, all the guys in the locker room support Jimmy, especially George Kittle. They're always supporting Jimmy. But I wonder, what do they think about that? Because it does seem like he does not care. That's what it seems like. But, it'd be interesting to see what the players feel about that off the record, because they're not going to say anything negative about Jimmy publicly. Let's see. David says, in response to John, that was then. We sucked back then. He's not consistent now, and we are in the middle of a playoff hunt. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. And that's been Jimmy's issue, whether it's him getting hurt too often or whether him just delivering a consistent ball. He's definitely struggled with that. And, he's just not a franchise quarterback. I think he could be, a solid backup quarterback. Or if he has a complete team around him with a great defense, with a great running game, maybe Jimmy throws the ball under 20 times a game. I think he could be a serviceable quarterback, but then as soon as he starts throwing interceptions, it's just downhill from there. Now, another question is, putting a rookie quarterback in this situation where the 49ers need to win 2 straight games. Trey Lance, obviously, he's only played 1 game this year against Arizona. But he is a rookie, but he seems to be poised. He seems to be more mature for his age. It seems like this is a moment that Trey Lance is ready for. But we could feel that way, but we'll see, how he plays. All I know is if he plays against the Texans, the game plan has to be different than it was against Arizona. I know Trey ran the ball 16 times. I know at least half of those runs were designed runs. And I want to see, we'll see how we'll see how Shanahan trusts Trey. If let me say this, if Trey Lance gets a similar play calling that that Jimmy G would get, like similar throws, similar plays, then I think we know that Shanahan trusts Trey Lance. But if Trey Lance gets a similar game plan that he got against Arizona, I think it just shows that Shanahan doesn't trust Trey Lance to make reads. He doesn't trust the Trey Lance to make throws. And that'll be interesting to see if Trey Lance does start. What type of game plan will be run? I just hope it'll be similar plays. I mean, let's be real. I mean, Shanahan does not give Jimmy G. I mean, he throws a lot of his balls that Jimmy throws. We've seen it. It's under 5 yards or it's under 10 yards. Like Jimmy should be, excuse me, Trey Lance should be able to make those type of throws. You know, um, at this point in the season, I would hope, right? And Jimmy doesn't throw deep too often. And I think Trey, he's shown it. Trey has shown that he can throw deep. We saw it in the preseason. So I just want to see a game plan similar to what Jimmy would get. Let Trey show he can throw. Let Trey show that he can read the coverage. And also, we can mix in a skosh of read option plays and running plays like that just to keep the defense off their heels. And I would agree with that. But that'll be interesting to see what type of game plan does Shanahan um, implement on Sunday against them good old Houston Texans. NYC, I appreciate the comment, man. He says, Jay, I like that hat, bro. There's something keeping Kyle from playing Trey. That Arizona game showed something to Kyle he didn't like. Trey does what he wants when first read isn't there. That worries Kyle. So that's an interesting thought. I did not come to that conclusion while watching the game. But I think it's clear Shanahan does not trust Trey, but he mentioned that he did have a first or a great last month of practice as a squad quarterback. So, what does that mean, though? I don't know. What does that mean? Do you trust Shanahan when he says things like that? I don't know what really that means. Does that mean he should be the starter? I mean, I don't know. But Shanahan's not going to say that up front. Shanahan's not going to say that. But I'm looking forward to see who practiced today. I would be surprised if Jimmy practices with a torn ligament. And I just want Shanahan to name the starter. I don't want the soap opera drama. I just want him to name a starter, man. That's what I want to know. We got Tommy Huxley in the building. What's good? Tommy says, what's good, Jay and the Bay? I'm on vacation, about to go running to keep my girlish figure. Well, Tommy, they say your health is your wealth, man. And thanks for tuning into the stream. Happy holidays to you, brother. And I appreciate you coming in. John says Jimmy G is not a scrub. That being said, he is not elite either. He's inconsistent. I'd say Jimmy G did his job for the season. He got us into playoff contention. Let Trey take over now. And I would say this: if you don't have a top 8 to 10 quarterback in this league, you don't really have a franchise quarterback. And I think that's the position that the 49ers are in now. But Jimmy G, no, he's not a scrub. I think he's a average to above average quarterback in his, at best. He's not going to throw for, 5 touchdowns. He's not going to throw for 5,000 yards in the season. He's not that type of quarterback. But there will be several teams, I think, who will be interested in Jimmy G at the end of this season. Pittsburgh, the Giants. And I think Jimmy G, he could, be a 1-year gap player. I think he'll keep you competitive, but I don't think he's a franchise player at this point of his career. But as I mentioned, the Steelers, I think the Saints, the Giants could be interested. Those are 3 teams off the top of my head that could use like a 1-year starter in Jimmy G and then draft a quarterback to develop under Jimmy, or basically to be a placeholder, basically. We got Romello. He says a healthy Jimmy is still not better than Trey Lance. Yeah, tell that to Shanahan. I mean, Shanahan sees Trey in practice every day. He sees Jimmy in practice every day. I think there's no doubt that Trey is more talented. He can do more things, but he doesn't have the experience yet. And Shanahan wants to ride with who's experienced, who he trusts. And he trusts Jimmy more because Jimmy has played 49 games with the Niners. So he trusts Jimmy more, but hopefully Shanahan will, allow Trey to start. I just don't think Jimmy can help us if he can't grip the ball, if he can't throw the ball. And I think that could be detrimental to this team. Andre says, I love the hope that Jimmy gave us. We were down and out when he came here. He elevated the Niners to being back to respectable. I would agree with that. There were some definitely lean years after, Harbaugh was fired. Tom Sula, Chip Kelly, And there weren't any. After Colin Kaepernick left, there weren't any really good quarterbacks. We traded for Jimmy G. He went on that 5-game winning streak. We gave him the keys to the organization. Basically, he had one great year, and other than that, he's been hurt. But I wish him well. No ill will to Jimmy. And I think he's been solid for us. He made this organization relevant again. I would agree with that. But it wasn't only him. We know that. It was a running game. It was the defense. It was Shanahan. But definitely Jimmy G, he played a role in that. And I wish him well, but I just think his time has come to an end with the 49ers. And we're ready to move on with Trey. JKS says, I would take a 1-foot Jimmy G. Well, you are alone, my brother. You are alone. Tommy Huxley says, did I miss the Coach Dante episode? So the Coach Dante episode, he is a Houston Texans fan and YouTuber. That'll be tonight, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the intheBay YouTube channel. Make sure you guys tune in for that. We'll talk about the Houston Texans, what to expect from them. And the Houston Texans, they have won the last 2 games. They beat the Jags, they beat the Chargers. So they're still giving out maximum effort to the 49ers, which I don't even question. They will give maximum effort. This is a must-win game, and I think we'll take care of business at home this Sunday. Romello says, since Jimmy became our quarterback, I've been afraid every time the offense has the ball. They keep talking about 2019, the defense and the running game brought us that far. I would say this, the defense and the running game definitely were the tone setters for that 2019 season. Could you say, well, any other average quarterback could have been in that position and took us to the Super Bowl? You could say that. We'll never really know. I'm giving Jimmy G his respect. He had a pretty good 2019 season. Wasn't great, it wasn't trash, but he was part of a team that went to the Super Bowl. And hey, he touched the ball every down. So he did not prevent us from going there. That's for sure. Some would say he prevented us from winning, but that's a whole nother story. But hey, he had one great year with the team. And the other years he was injured for most of the seasons. And that's why we're moving on to Trey Area. That's exactly why. So for me, it's no hard feelings. I respect what he did for this organization coming over, getting traded. He made this organization relevant. But I think, nothing lasts forever. And there's a reason why we got Trey Lance. Niner faithful. We need to just win one game and have the Panthers beat the Saints, and we're in the playoffs, but I want us to win both games. Yeah, it would be nice to beat the Rams again. That would be 6 straight games that we beat the Rams, but I don't know if the Rams will have much to play for. I'd have to look at the standings. Let's look at the standings real quick. And look at the Rams. Well, the Rams are first in the division right now. They are 11-4. And the Cardinals are 10-5. Man, what do you guys think about the Cardinals? Cardinals have lost 3 straight. They are definitely reeling right now. Definitely going in the wrong direction. Definitely not how you want to enter the playoffs on a losing streak. But the Rams, I don't know if they have much to play for. We'll see if they win on Sunday, and if the Cardinals lose again. I think if the Cardinals lose again, they may not have much to play for because they probably have already won the division. Let's see. Tommy says, in a 3-way tie is the only way we get booted out of the playoffs. Yep. Yeah. And I think one of the teams is the Eagles. I'm not sure what the other team is, but those other 2 teams have better conference records than us. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Looks like NYCE says, I trust Jimmy. I don't trust our secondary. I agree with you, Jay. Jimmy does throw picks, but he has also kept us in games and given us chances to win, but we don't seal the deal. I hope our DBs are ready. And I was listening to 95.7 The Game, a Bay Area radio station, and he said something that really struck a nerve with me. And basically he said, hey, if we get into the playoffs, I think we know how this team will lose the game. And we're talking about the Niners. It's going to be the secondary. If we're going up against quarterbacks like, hey, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, they can take advantage of our deficiencies in the secondary. So some would say, hey, quarterback's not even a real problem. It's the secondary, but the secondary, we can't really do much about that. There was a player, I think it was Bashad Breeland, a cornerback who was available. I didn't hear the Niners really going after him, but I think he signed with the Arizona Cardinals. But this secondary, we can't really do much about it. Some would say, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but some would say that the 49ers did not put enough emphasis on adding talent in the offseason for the secondary, but I beg to differ. We drafted 2 cornerbacks in the draft. We re-signed Jason Verrett, who was coming off of a Pro Bowl year. We re-signed K'Waun Williams, re-signed Emmanuel Mosley. It's just unfortunate. We shouldn't have put all our eggs in one basket in Jason Verrett, expecting him to be healthy for an entire year. That might have been wishful thinking, and it turns out it was. So, but we could have, I guess we could have signed another veteran free agent corner. But I think this will be another area of need for the 49ers. I think we need to obviously coach up the talent we have with the rookies, and then maybe add another veteran, because I don't anticipate Jason Verrett coming back next year. K'Waun Williams is having a pretty good year, but he may want to get a multi-year contract extension. I don't know if that's a good idea for the 49ers to do. I think he's on the wrong age of 30, so I don't know if that's a good idea. Probably not. But the Niners need to add definitely I would figure at least 2 more corners in the secondary. Hopefully one a free agent corner and another corner in either in free agency or draft, because that's definitely an area. But the most important thing, you got to coach up the talent you have. And that way you don't have to spend big money on big names in free agency, because we have other areas on the team that need resources as well. But I agree with you though. NYCE, the secondary is an issue, but there's really nothing we can do about it. We really just have to hope that pass rush can get after the quarterback. And also, big ups to D'Amico Ryans for confusing the quarterbacks, not making it super easy. But when you have a talent like AJ Brown, it's like, what can you do? I mean, you can double team him, I guess. But receivers and quarterbacks like that, they can just take over games. Romello says, does everybody see we have to go through a bad team, Carolina, to beat the Saints? If everything would have been played right, we wouldn't need this. I know, man. That's what I was saying, Romello, at the beginning of this live stream, that we left some games on the table that we shouldn't have. There were definitely some games on our schedule that we should have won. I mean, in case in point, last week against Tennessee, that was a game that we were clearly the better team in the first half. We left point. Well, Jimmy left points on the board. We easily should have been up 21-0. And let's be real, if we would have scored 21 points in that game and we didn't score the second half, we would have won the game. The Titans only scored 20 points. So, the Niners, we left points on the board. I think we should have beat Seattle in that game. And there were several other games that we should have won. But we didn't take care of business. Indianapolis game, I thought we were the better team in that one, and we just didn't win. So I agree with you, Romello. We didn't take care of our business. Now we got to rely on other teams. We got Payo Time in the house. What's good? How you doing today, Payo Time? Hopefully all is well. Payo Time says, hey, Jay, hope you and the faithful have a good week and get ready for a showdown at SoFi Stadium, the most expensive stadium in the NFL ever built. And that's going to be an excellent game. Looking forward to that. Also looking forward to our collab as well. The 49ers did sign some practice squad players. They signed a quarterback and what's his name? Tyler Bray signed a quarterback. We also signed a punter in Kobe Waldman and linebacker Mark Zachoa. And if you're wondering why we signed a punter, it's because Mitch, unfortunately, he's on the COVID list. So he has to get 2 consecutive negative COVID tests in order to punt on Sunday. And we'll see if that happens. Mitch has been, he had a shank last week, but other than that, I think he's been solid, I guess. His kickoffs have come into question, but I think if Mitch isn't in there, that it could be a downgrade. I don't think there's necessarily an upgrade on the market, but we'll see. we'll see what happens with Mitch. Hopefully he's able to recover and he'll be able to suit up on Sunday. We got SG Sports Talk Channel in the building. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Everything is going well. My thoughts on Trey is I want to see him out there. I want to see how Shanahan uses him. Hopefully he uses him similar to Jimmy. Let Trey read the defense. Let Trey make throws. And we could sprinkle in a skosh of that read option, outside zone runs, all that good stuff. But hopefully Trey Lance gets an opportunity to play because we know if Jimmy is healthy enough to play, Shanahan's going to ride with Jimmy. We know that. But hopefully Trey Lance gets the start. And if Jimmy doesn't practice all week, I just don't see how he'll play. I don't see how he'll play. If Jimmy doesn't practice all week, I just don't see it. I'd be surprised if he plays. We got Luke Luna in the house. What's good? Luke Luna says, I guess you forgot what it was like before Jimmy got here. You must have also forgot the key injuries that had us reaching for straws this season. Yeah, I mean, hey, those are all valid points, Luke. But I think Jimmy, like I said before, if you don't have a top 10 quarterback, who do you really have? Do you really have a franchise quarterback? Do you think the Cleveland Browns have a franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield? In my opinion, I don't think so. But injuries are going to happen every game. But Jimmy, his time is done, in my opinion. If he plays, yeah, I'll root for him because if he does well, the Niners will do well. But I just don't want to see it, man. I just want to ride with Trey at this point of the season. SG Sport, but I appreciate your input though, Luke. I appreciate your input. SG Sports Talk Channel says, what are the pros and cons of Lynch? Well, the biggest con is he just doesn't have the experience. And that's obviously something that'll come as he gets under center more often. Biggest pro is teams don't really know what to expect from him. Hopefully the game plan will be much different than Arizona. And also the Houston Texans, they don't know if they're facing Trey Lance or Jimmy G. So that's a big pro for Lance if he does play. And also there's no film on Trey. People don't, like I mentioned, people don't know what to expect. And I think this will definitely help Trey, if he gets his second start this year against Houston. Tommy Huxley, man, I appreciate it, man. He says, I'm listening to you while running, my dude. Lance is going to start booking. Man, I hope you're right, Tommy. I hope you're right. But, Shanahan is playing this game really well. He's basically saying it's a game time decision for Jimmy. That's basically what he's saying. And I don't expect Jimmy to practice all week. But hey, Shanahan's doing his due diligence. He's got this gamesmanship going on. He's not going to tell who the starter is until he absolutely has to. But a lot of people are saying that there's no way Jimmy will play with that torn ligament. And if he doesn't practice, why would he play? I just don't see it. It'd be different if Jimmy had a bum ankle, right? And his mobility was much less than it usually was when he's healthy. That's different because he can still throw the ball, right? But if he can't grip the ball, he can't throw it during the week. How is he going to do that during the game? I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. So hopefully you're right, Tommy. Romello says if we got Jimmy and running back have to run 80 all the time, that's why we didn't have any. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, Romello. Luke says Jimmy been playing pretty good. It's funny how quick people go back and forth. Stars have bad games. Bottom line, if his stomach's bad, he shouldn't play. But Stafford, McCoy, Goff play with them was worse. I would say yes. Jimmy has been good the last 2 months. There's a reason why we were 5-2. Jimmy was definitely a part of that. But when you say stars have bad games, I wouldn't consider Jimmy a star at this point of his career. I don't think he should get that label. But I agree with your point that stars do have bad games, but Jimmy is not a star. And just for me personally, I'm just tired of seeing the inconsistencies with Jimmy. For a guy that has 49 quarterback starts under his belt, it's tough to watch him at times because you can't trust him. Like when he has the ball and he's looking to the right, and he's looking to the left. You don't know what Jimmy's gonna do. Like honestly, like you just don't know what he's gonna do. I'm tired of watching the inconsistent Jimmy. I'm tired of watching him throw interceptions. Um, and I just hope we go with Trey, man. I hope we go with Trey. But I appreciate your sentiments, Double L. I know you're riding with Jimmy. But we'll see. We'll see. Jimmy did say in the press conference that he said he will try to play, but if he's ineffective, we're gonna all say, hey, it's his thumb. He shouldn't even be out there. Why put him out there if he's not healthy? Are you ready for that, Double L? Let me know. Romello says, do you really look at our games? Jimmy is the fault. He can't help the defense. Now we need help before he hurts his fingers. Did you see that? I agree with you. I agree with you, RB. I agree with you, man. It's tough to watch at times. When Jimmy doesn't turn over the ball, he's accurate. He can be an above average QB. He can be like between that 12 and 15 range. But as soon as he starts turning over the ball, he's missing receivers. This team can't overcome that. And your number one job as an offensive player, when you have the ball in your hands, don't commit turnovers. You're giving the other opportunity, other opportunities to score. They're getting extra opportunities, and you just can't do that, man. You just can't do that at the quarterback position. And hopefully Shanahan can see that. Hopefully he can see that. Luke Luna, Goff beat Seattle with his thumb worse last year in the playoffs. I think they should rest him versus lesser competition. If Trey can't play well versus the Texans, you would really question giving up that capital. I think it's too early to say that, Double L. And Goff beating Seattle, I think I want to say he started the game and then he got benched. I think that's what happened in that playoff game. And I respect Jimmy for wanting to play, but if Jimmy doesn't play well, what are we going to say? It's going to be because of the thumb. So why put him out there? Why put him out there? And to say Trey, if he doesn't play well against Houston, I mean, that's 2 games. Do we really want to go that far based on 2 games if Trey doesn't play well? I think that's a little bit too much, Double L. Come on, man. I think we can hold Trey accountable, but let's be real. It would be his second start versus Jimmy's 50th start if he starts on Sunday. And we see the same mistakes over and over with Jimmy. It's the same mistakes over and over. Niner Faithful says Cliff Kingsbury's teams always fall apart. It seems that way. They are without, D Hop. He is, their best wide receiver. So that definitely hurts. And also they're banged up as well at the running back position. NYCE, he says, hey, Jay, David Renteria has not been here since the Cardinals lost. Where is he at? That's pretty funny. Yeah, we haven't seen Mr. David Renteria, man. Yeah, because he was definitely on the channel when the 49ers would lose or the Cardinals would win, vice versa. So, hey, it's funny how the tables have turned and DR is not present. I'm sure he will be once the playoffs start, but hopefully DR is doing well. Hopefully his DR is doing well. And he can come on, man. He can come on anytime he wants. We got Celts Chronicles in the building. What's good? Make sure you guys check out Celts Chronicles. He's got his own YouTube channel. Of course, he talks about the faithful, the Niner Empire. It's good to see you doing videos again on a consistent basis, Celts. I got to have you on my show. But Celts says, can someone elaborate exactly how Jimmy gives the Niners the best chance to win? I'm confused. I've seen a backup in Colt McCoy, Fitzpatrick, and others make passes in one game that Jimmy hasn't in 4 years. Hey, honestly, I can't even answer that for you now. At the beginning of the year, I was expecting Jimmy to play better, more consistently, not turn over the ball, but that's just not the player he is. He'll have some good games, he'll have a stretch, and then he'll have some bad games. But hey, I can't, like I said, I can't defend Jimmy, especially last game against the Tennessee Titans. I felt like that game was lost because of Jimmy. And I can't answer your question, Kelts. Kelts says Jimmy is about the 17th to 25th quarterback. Maybe our team is better than 17 to 25. He holds us back. Yeah, I mean, that comparison has been made that Jimmy holds us back, but we shall see. Hopefully Trey, like I said, Trey starts on Sunday. And we'll see what the future holds for this team under Trey Lance. Kels Chrono says Trey every year. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, some news about Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel is the first NFL player with 1,200 receiving yards and 300 rushing yards. So that's an amazing feat. I know some people will say, "Oh, well, Debo's running the ball because Shanahan doesn't trust Jimmy to get the ball to Debo on passing patterns." Or hey, we're just trying to get the ball in Debo Samuel's hands as much as possible, and we can do it running the ball because Debo can run the ball effectively. Definitely has a high yards per carry average. But shout out to Debo. He's having an excellent season. He also just welcomed his first child. So congratulations, Debo and the Debo Samuel family. And hey, what a great time to have a child, right around Christmas time. That's great for the Debo Samuel family. So shout out to you. And he's having an excellent year. He may get a contract extension this offseason. So shout out to you, Debo. Luke says, but if we lose versus the Texans, the Rams is a must win. So how do they weigh out the approach? Because a win versus the Texans is the most important thing we can capitalize on because the next team is good. So Luke, would you have, you might have answered this, but I would rather have a healthy Trey go up against the Texans than a hampered Jimmy. That's just my opinion. I would love, I know Shanahan, if Jimmy can go throw on Sunday and be effective, he's going to start Jimmy. That's who he's comfortable with. And I know a lot of 49er fans, they're like, nah, the hell with Jimmy. Trey should get the start today or this Sunday. And I agree. I think Trey should start on Sunday. It seems like you want Jimmy to start, but I don't think he's going to be healthy. I think he could hurt the team. If Jimmy's in there, he could hurt the team, especially if he can't throw the ball. But we'll see, man. I appreciate the kind words, SG Sports Talk. Let's see. NYCE says instead of drafting Trey Sermon, we should have drafted Asante Samuel Jr. He was right there, but I think that's where ownership needs to take the hit. The DB position has been our issue since 2018. Hey, man, great point. And actually, who we drafted in the second round, because we drafted Trey Sermon in the third, but in the second round, we should not have drafted Aaron Banks. We didn't have to do anything in the second round. If we would have stood pat and not traded down, we would have been able to get Asante Samuel, and he went to the Chargers. But this team, and shout out to 49ers First Takes, he had mentioned this before, that this team does not prioritize the secondary, the cornerback position. They just don't. We prioritize the defensive line, and that's important, but you have to prioritize the secondary as well. I mean, this team, we've seen draft, Buckner in the first round, Armstead in the first round, Kinlaw in the first round, Bosa in the first round, Solomon Thomas. Those are 5 picks easily out of the last, 7-8 years that the 49ers have spent a first-round pick on a defensive lineman. And yes, games are won and lost in the trenches, which is very important, but you can't just leave the secondary hanging. You got to continue to add talent to that area as well. And we didn't, and it shows, it shows. But yeah, and I'm not saying Aaron Banks is a bust. I'm not saying that at all, but I think a bigger priority, a higher need was definitely the cornerback position. And Asante Samuel, he's doing pretty well with the Chargers. So I agree with you, SG. Beat Houston. We got David V in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Oh man, that's pretty funny, Tommy. Talking about David Renteria. Oh man, we got Jay in the house. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Happy holidays to you, brother. Yeah. I mean, Tommy says I really don't want to play the Lambs in the playoffs if we sweep them. He says it's impossible to beat a team 3 times in a season. It's funny. We always hear that, right? That's like a cliche. Oh, you can't beat a team 3 times. Well, why not? Of course, it's hard, but you already beat them twice. But it's funny. The Saints and the Buccaneers, obviously, they're in the NFC South division together. They played last year 3 times. The Saints beat the Buccaneers twice in the regular season last year, and then the Buccaneers beat the Saints in the playoffs. So, yeah, you never know, but that sentiment sometimes bears out to be true. Let's see. Let's see. SG, who do you think will be a X factor for the 49ers against the Texans? Hey man, that's a great question. I think the X factor, if Trey Lance starts, I don't really think he would be the X factor, even though he could be the most exciting player to watch on Sunday. Well, it's not could, he would be. I think it's going to be this running game. I think it's going to be Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson Jr. I think those could be the X factors. Run the ball, win the time of possession, put the Texans away early. And I think that'll be the key to the game. Because even if Trey starts, I don't think he's going to throw 40 to 50 times a game. No way. I still think this team still wants to run the ball. I think Trey, maybe he'll throw maybe between 20 to 28 times, maybe. I think it depends on the effectiveness of the running game. Let's see. NYCE says Kyle has something cooking and it involves Jimmy and Trey. Could you imagine Jimmy and Trey both in at the same time? Jimmy under center and Trey and Mitchell in the backfield. How do you plan for that? That is a good point. It's not something necessarily I would want to see. I don't want to see Trey Lance to be used as a gimmick player. I want to see him to be used as a quarterback. That's what we drafted him for. I want him to be a quarterback. Hey, if Jimmy not healthy, man, he shouldn't play. And obviously I'll take that a step further. I want to see Trey Lance no matter what, but we all know that's not, that's that's not going to happen. If Jimmy's healthy, he's going to play. We already know Shanahan trusts Jimmy. I should say he trusts him enough to start him. Let's see. Gotta say, hot diggity dog. What's good? Kels Chronicles. I appreciate that $5 donation. He says, I've seen you and your channel grow over the past year. I truly appreciate your personality and professionalism. Best in the biz. Yay! Hey, I appreciate that, man. Got to get you on the channel, man. If you're interested, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate the kind words and continue putting out content on your YouTube channel as well, man. I appreciate your thoughts because you were saying draft Trey Lance before the draft. So you definitely been on that Trey Lance train. And hopefully, hey man, hopefully he plays on Sunday. But I appreciate that donation, man. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss any comments. Let's see. Okay, looks like Luke says, I feel like how Jimmy plays the game affects it more than doing big things. If the choices he makes that takes the clock, that moves the ball, things that don't show in his numbers, he's not explosive. I would agree. He's not explosive. I think he is a average to above average QB. And I think he's taking this team as far as he can go. But I know Shanahan feels otherwise. Jay says we can clinch a playoff spot on Sunday if we beat the Texans and if the Saints lose to the Panthers. Yeah, definitely rooting for the Panthers on Sunday. Hopefully they can, beat the Saints. SG Sports Talk says I'm going to get off the Jimmy G train and hop on to the Trey Lance train. Hey, I respect that. I would say this though. I agree with you, but if Jimmy G plays, I'm gonna be rooting for him. Anyone in red and gold that reps that 49ers that's wearing that Niner uniform, I'm gonna root for them because if they do well, more than likely the Niners will come out with the W. So I know I said I'm tired of Jimmy, which I am, but if he plays, hey, I would still say go Jimmy, go go go, go Jimmy, go go go. But I mean, and that's just obviously being a faithful, reacting to new information. But at the end of the day, it don't matter who line up. I want my team to win no matter what. So if it's Jimmy, if it's Trey, don't matter. I want the team to win at the end of the day. The name on the back changes, but the SF logo stays the same. And that's at the end of the day who we rooting for. At least for me. I can only speak for myself. But that's what I'm rooting for. Let's continue on with these comments. Hopefully starting on Sunday, man. Hopefully starting on Sunday. But Jimmy G, some would say he's got the heart of a lion. And he's gonna try to play if he can, he's not giving any indication that he can't play this Sunday, Jimmy. And Shanahan said, hey, we are going to evaluate this day by day and see what happens on game day, basically. Kelch Chronicle says, what a beautiful position we hold on our destiny. And here comes the rook Trey. I know it's a lot of pressure, but no shortage of excitement. We're going to shock the world. Yay! Man, I agree with you, man. I'm excited for Trey Lance to get under center. Hopefully we see that come to fruition on Sunday. And if not, then hey, it's Jimmy, and I'll be rooting for the team, of course, and Jimmy, and hopefully we do well against the Texans. But if Jimmy is hurt and he can't grip a ball, he can't throw it accurately, I just don't see how he can help the team on Sunday. I just don't see it. And I think there's a reason why the 49ers signed, three or another quarterback. Trey is taking the first team reps, Nate Sudfeld's behind him, and then Tyler Bray. So the 49ers are preparing as if Jimmy can't contribute. And I think we will continue to see that. I would say I think we're continuing to see that, this week. We'll see. I'm trying to see if there's any updated news as far as, practice. But I haven't seen anything out that says the latest updates from practice. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. But looks like SG Sports Talk Channel says I'm riding with Trey Lance. I dig it. Let's see. Romelo says we had to find the new ones. Remember. Let's see. SG, how would you rate Trey Lance on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not that likely and 10 is very likely? Hey, man, sky's the limit. It's 10. Huge 10. He's very likely to succeed under Shanahan. Great play caller, great play designer. We have weapons all over the field. So, hey, the sky's the limit for Trey Lance in this system. Luke Luna, Jay intheBay, that's my point. Jimmy isn't a star, so he's going to have a bad game. I'm saying even stars have bad games. Jimmy has been playing well. I already said, Jay, if his thumb is bad, he shouldn't play. Hey, I appreciate your comments, Double L. And I think people are tired of that, me included. We're just tired of the bad games. We're tired of the inconsistencies. And Double L, you've been watching me for a while. At the beginning of the year, I felt different. I was like, hey, let's ride with Jimmy. He gives us the best chance to win based on his experience, yada, yada, yada. But I'm reacting to the most recent information, and I've just seen enough. I've just seen enough, man. I've just seen enough. Let's see. Let's continue on. Let's see. David says, I want to find David Renteria. I promised him I would talk about the Cardinals after week 7. Yeah, I don't know where Mr. Renteria is. Hopefully all is well for him. I appreciate that. Romelo, man, I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight. Sarah Collins, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Sarah Collins says, go Niners. Is Jimmy G playing on Sunday? That's the $1 million question. I wish I could have an answer for you. Yeah, I appreciate everyone. Hit that thumbs up button. Let me know that you're enjoying the stream. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And Sarah, Trey is taking first team reps. He did yesterday. I'm not sure 100% about today. I'm sure we'll know in a matter of maybe an hour or less. And, Jimmy did not practice yesterday. He's dealing with the thumb. But Shanahan is not giving any indication on who will be the starter. And, Jimmy is also saying, hey, he thinks he can play on Sunday. So if Jimmy thinks he can play, obviously he's got to prove that he can throw the ball. If he throws the ball, I think Shanahan's going to give him every opportunity to start. And I know we don't want to hear that, or some some Niners fans don't want to hear that, but I'm coming to the. Let's just say this. I'm not going to be surprised if Jimmy G is starting on Sunday. I just won't be. Now, will he be effective? That's the question. But I just won't be surprised if he's a starter. But Shanahan doesn't have to name a starter now. He doesn't have to. He's got the gamesmanship going. So, we'll see. We shall see. NYCE says if Jimmy doesn't practice, Trey will start. Hey, Jay, I believe Jimmy is 12th out of 32 in passing yards and has 8.9 yards in passing before Yak in a system that runs first. I don't think that's bad. Hey, those are pretty good numbers. Those are pretty good numbers, but I think at this point I'm just done with the average to above average play. I think I'm ready for the best of the best. And I have no idea if Trey will be that. I can hope, I can wish. What we really have no idea, but I'm willing to now. I guess I would say now I'm willing to ride with that. I'm willing to ride with the unknown. At the beginning of the season, hey, I had no idea. I was willing to ride with Jimmy, but now I want to go with Trey. I want to go in a different direction. But obviously, we know it's not up to any of us. It's up to Shanahan. Whatever he says goes. And I just won't be surprised if Shanahan gives Jimmy the nod. Jay, so you're telling me against a bad team, you don't expect not only our third overall pick, but moving up and giving three future picks as well, not to win the game. I definitely do. The team's good. He can do it. No, I think if Trey starts, yeah, we can beat the Texans. The Texans, they are not a playoff team. They've only won 4 games this year. They won their last 2 games, so they are riding high. They're feeling good about themselves. But no, I think Trey will, if he starts, I think he can definitely, the 49ers will win. I think so. But I just don't want to see Jimmy start. He don't play well, and when we blame the thumb, when we don't have to do that, when we can just ride with Trey. Let's see. Tommy says Samuel went in the second. Luke Luna says, yeah, oh, for sure. He's hiding under his fold out couch in reference to David Renteria. That's pretty good. Luke Luna. Jimmy was leading in air yards prior to Yak, but it's easy for people to forget when there's so much gas being thrown on negative aspects of his game. He's not elite, but he plays team ball. And I think Jimmy is kind of like an offensive lineman. If an offensive lineman has 60 snaps, and let's say on 55 of those snaps, he does his job well. He's able to create open holes for the running game. He's able to give time in the pocket to his quarterback. But let's say there's 5 plays where 2 of them there's penalties and 3 of them he allows a sack. We're all going to remember, unfortunately, those 5 bad plays. And that's just kind of what it is with a quarterback who is not elite. If Aaron Rodgers throws 3 interceptions in a game, it doesn't matter. Like, okay, the Packers fans, oh, okay, you had a bad game. But Jimmy doesn't have that. Jimmy doesn't have that long of a rope, man. Jimmy doesn't have, we don't give him the benefit of the doubt. And it's because of what we've seen in the past, the injuries, the inconsistencies. But we can't really compare him to an elite quarterback. So that's why we feel the way we do about Jimmy. Luke says, Jay, you know me, I'm a believer in the rookie. I wanted him over Fields and was hoping they wouldn't go for Fields. I like Trey's character. If they didn't stay put and take Mac, I love Trey, but like he says, there is expectations of how a third overall player with 3 extra years of capital should play. Look how hard people are on other picks that don't have those expectations in capital. I think point blank, if he plays, we should be able to win. I think if he plays on Sunday, we should be able to win. We're still going to run the ball heavy, and I'm sure Shanahan will ease him into the game, and we'll see. I'm counting down the days. NYCE says, I agree. I think that people are just excited about Trey because they don't know much about him and want to see what he can actually do. I want to see him, but in the right scenario. I agree. And I agree with those sentiments. And I think this Sunday could be the perfect scenario going up against a team that's not in playoff position. It's a home game for the Niners. Jimmy, he's not healthy. Hey, let's put Trey in. I appreciate you, Kelts, man. I got to reach out to you, man. NYC says, so we need Cam Newton to win. I'm the biggest Cam fan right now. LOL. Yeah, I don't know if Cam is going to be starting for the Panthers or is it going to be Sam Darnold. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Luke says, in the end, I think the kid can win versus Texans, should win versus them, and I expect him to if he does play, depending how a loss would happen. People would wonder, and that's why he's been sitting. I think he's been sitting because, Shanahan trusts Jimmy more than Trey. And I understand, I could understand why he would, because at the end of the day, Shanahan just wants to win games at the end of the day, and he feels what he sees that Jimmy can win more games. I respect that. Don't necessarily agree, but hey, that's his opinion, and I respect the coach. David says, haven't seen him since 49ers report with Mott. Are you talking about DR? I appreciate the kind words, SG. NYCE says, personally, I think Trey should start. Let Jimmy get that rest. What's Jimmy's record overall? That's a good question. He definitely has a winning record overall. Don't know the exact numbers, but yeah, he's got an excellent, starters record for sure. I'm going with, I think he'll throw for about 250. Maybe about 250. Let's see. SG says Trey Lance will throw for 495 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Man, that would be an excellent coming out party for Trey Lance if this stat did come to fruition. And wouldn't that be a great thing for the fans in the stadium? He'll be putting on the show. And also, SG gives us his prediction. He's got the Niners winning 45-34. Man, hey, I appreciate your I appreciate your prediction, man. We got Bengals Report 18 in the house. What's good? That's the thing, man. Bengals Report. So he suffered a thumb injury. It does not require surgery. So he's considered day-to-day. And we don't know. He's not out for a set time. We did have practice yesterday, but Jimmy did not practice. We'll see who practices today. I'm sure the report should be coming out in a matter of probably less than an hour. But Jimmy's day-to-day, he's basically a game time decision. And I think that's how the 49ers are going to play this. But thanks for coming on, Bengals Report. Luke Luna says, with all that's been said, I do think that this is the friendliest situation for Trey to get another try. This could instill that confidence in his elite intangibles. I'm all for playoffs depends. Yeah, I'm all for it, man. Let's get Trey in there. I'm all for it. I completely agree with you, J.E. Live. What's good? I completely agree with you. And even if Jimmy was 100% at this point, do you start a rookie quarterback when you're trying to get into the playoffs, or do you start the veteran who clearly Shanahan trusts? He's made some good plays. He's made some bad plays. If Jimmy was healthy, there's no question Shanahan would start Jimmy. There's no question, because that's who he trusts. But yeah, we'll see, man. I'm counting down the days till kickoff. I'm hoping Trey will get the start. I appreciate everyone for tuning into the stream today on a Thursday. Shout out to Celts Chronicles and also JKS for their super chats. I appreciate those donations to the channel. Hopefully everyone is having an excellent holiday season. Be safe for New Year's. I'll probably give an update on my community tab. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to intheBay on YouTube about who's practicing today and who's not. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy doesn't practice all week, but there's still a chance he could play. And Shanahan's not going to be in any rush to tell us who's going to be the starter. So I think I might have another comment. Let's see. Okay. NYC says, totally agree. Trey will go for about 18 of 25, 230, 50 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing TD, 1 interception. I can see that. Luke Luna gives us his score prediction. He's got the Niners winning 36-13. Okay. Andre, what's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream. He says Trey is the way. Dude is humble. He is so humble. He's gonna humble the other teams. Hey, I can take that, man. I can take that. But hey, we'll see if Shanahan feels the same way. You are right, Jay. Shanahan did say that these last 4 weeks of practice were amazing, but that doesn't necessarily mean he should start over Jimmy. I'm sure that's what Shanahan thinks, man. Shout out to NYCE, man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, great stream, Jay. And thank you once again for the platform. Have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you later. Absolutely, man. I will catch you guys later. Thank you all for tuning in to the stream. Luke says, I agree, brother. Depending if we play him versus the Rams and how that goes, I play Jimmy in playoffs. Depends versus a good team, how he performs. Yeah, and just because if Trey starts on Sunday, honestly, this is from a Shanahan's perspective. This is what I think. If Trey starts on Sunday, it's only because Jimmy G can't play. And if Jimmy G can play against the Rams, and that's what's going to happen. I just don't think there's no way in Shanahan's eyes that Trey can win the starting job on Sunday versus the Texans, which I don't necessarily. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I just think that's what Shanahan's mindset is. It doesn't matter what Trey does. Jimmy G is still the starter. But hopefully, man, appreciate that $2 donation to the channel, Luke Luna. And hopefully we will see more of the IQ show, Kelps Chronicles, on Sunday, man. That's what I'm hoping for. Crazy Juice gives us his prediction for the game. He's got the Niners winning 35-10. All right. And for those that have just tuned in, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. And I will be having a preview show tonight on the intheBay YouTube channel, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, with the Houston Texans YouTuber. We'll talk about the 49ers and Texans game. We'll preview it, and we'll hear all that information from a Texans fan. So make sure you guys tune into that tonight. I will see you guys later tonight. And shout out to everyone who was in the chat today. I appreciate you guys contributing to the stream. And a huge shout out to those who donate to the channel, Luke Luna, Kelps Chronicles, JKS. I appreciate you guys' donations. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Let's see. Luke Luna says, Jay, but Trey could win the job if he plays the Rams and looks good there too. I welcome that all day. If not, go to Jimmy and let the frustrations continue. I don't want to be disappointed. So even if Trey plays well against the Texans on Sunday, I would be shocked if Shanahan said, okay, Trey Lance is the starter. I just would be shocked by that because Shanahan believes, he's riding with Jimmy. That's what it just seems like. So I welcome that. Absolutely, if he named Trey the starter, especially after a great performance against the Texans, but I would just be surprised. I would be surprised. So, but everyone have a good rest of your Thursday. I'll see you guys tonight. If you can make it, I'd appreciate it. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.